is, so you got to boil the idea down to the core. So like with Super Meat Boy, it's platforming, right? And I'm trying to reinvent something that already exists, but there are elements of the game. It's like when you boil a platformer down to its core, what are you doing? What's fun about it? It's kind of like being a superhero. You never want it. Platforming games that feel laggy and slow suck. You know what I mean? So I wanted it to be as fast as possible. So I came up with a few key elements. A lot of it was wall jumping that I hadn't seen a lot of in games. A really fast wall jump, really fast momentum, carrying the character back and forth across the level. Excuse me. That little core element, I looked at that and I said, how can I expand on this specific thing? And can I carry this through a game? Can I carry something as basic as wall platforming, momentum, and speed and make it fun throughout? And then I went through and I came up with a few ideas here and there. So basically it's like, okay, you jump over something, that's fun, right? So that's one thing. Okay, you jump over it and it's also moving. You jump over it and then you have to drop back under it. You know, you want to explore the core mechanic and make sure it can be expanded upon multiple ways. And if that is fun, then you can continue to move with it. But you prototype it first. Like it's super important to have the foundation of what you are making in a prototype form, and then know confidently that you can take this and carry it. I remember I used to do talks at UCSC here in Santa Cruz. And one of the most common things I saw with the developers there is that they would come up with this really cool idea. It was a really cool, like, core idea. And I could see right away that you couldn't go anywhere with it. Like it was a dead end. Like it was a hard dead end and you could not expand upon it. But it was such a cool idea that they just stuck with it. And they continued to make, instead of expanding upon the idea, and they couldn't, they would take the idea and just reiterate the same thing you kind of did. And it turns into this kind of like boring experience. And I won't shit on this game, but back in the day, I played this game called Fez. I remember playing it and thinking, there is no way you can expand upon this core mechanic, because there's no way for you to memorize 4 planes of existence in any way that would be feasible for a human brain to. It's not a puzzle. Like you just got to guess and you got to spin it. But he got away with it. He got away with spinning that thing, and he fluffed it, and he made the platforming fun, and he made it work. But initially I would have completely written that game off and said, like, this is a mechanic that doesn't work. I told him that, honestly. I said, it's a mechanic that doesn't work. I don't know how you're going to turn this into something. But kudos to him for actually doing it. But yeah, I would say you'll feel it in your gut right away that the core mechanic that you've come up with is expandable and fun. By prototyping it, putting it in front of, here's another thing I haven't talked about at all. Putting your game in front of people who don't even play video games. Putting your game in front of people that you wouldn't even associate with, random people, and hand them the controller and have them play it. If it speaks to people who aren't even interested in that, then you might have something really special, and it'll solidify your assumption. But that is super important too. And it's something that I do religiously with all of my games is for the end is nigh, I would bring a laptop to some Magic the Gathering tournaments at the mall. I'd set the laptop up with a controller. I'd put it down. No one knew who the hell I was. And people would just kind of gravitate towards it and play it. And I'd watch them. I'd say nothing. I would just watch them. And you can learn so much, especially what works, what puts a smile on somebody's face, which gives them an aha moment, which makes them feel smart, which makes them feel good and accomplishing something. That it's a key element to game design that I totally missed this whole time talking about, is getting your game in front of people and watching them, not saying anything to them, not asking for feedback. Don't do that. Because once you say that, then they'll feel like they need to give you something, and it's usually just trash. They're trying to help.